Yeah, there's a dark element to society and the world that when bad things happen, people are curious and interested. When good things happen, people don't want to know. Like when someone is born, people don't want to know. Most people don't want to know. But when they die, it's suddenly interesting for people, and it's a little bit morbid. And what it is everybody has a light side and a dark side, right? Everybody has a light side and a dark side. The yin and the yang, it's that Chinese thing, Japanese thing. The yin and the yang, the good and the bad. Yeah. Look at that. Looks like make a dollar sign. Look, we do the lines through the middle there. Yeah. Dun, 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 look at that. So, yeah, and when there is death, it connects with our darker side because we don't know what's there, and it becomes interesting. Like painters, painters are always famous after they die. They're never famous while they're alive. While they're alive, they have no money and a hard life, and they don't have a lot. And suddenly, after they die, they become famous, and people sell their works of art for millions. It's crazy. So
maybe because of that he create this dark.
yeah, maybe, but it's not a very nice thing to do, is it? Because if you all that means is that you can't sell your record when you're alive because no one is interested.
Yes.
And what
The
about
most popular song.
well, what about his family, right? It's if you have family, then it's you can't tell your family you're dead and then come back to life. There are other ways to do it. Yeah, there are other ways to do it. There was a singer called David Bowie. Maybe you know the name. See, this is crazy. David Bowie was one of the best pop music artists for maybe 30 or 40 years. Lot of great songs. He did a song with Queen called Under Pressure. Doon, 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 doon. Under pressure, pushing down on me, pushing. Yeah, it was also used for the same sample was used for Ice Ice Baby. Yeah, dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Anyway, so that was originally David Bowie and Queen, and what artists do is they create characters and personas for themselves. So, like, say your name is I don't know. Say your name is Peter, right? When you make music, you're not Peter. You make another. You call yourself. I don't know. You call yourself something stupid like Big Tim, right? Yeah. And then when you want to change your art, when you want to change your music, when you want to do something, what you do is you kill the character and you become somebody else. And I mentioned David Bowie because David Bowie did this. David Bowie had a persona called, oh my God, what was the persona? Ziggy Stardust. He had a persona. His character, like the rappers call themselves, I don't know, Big G or something, right? And so his name for himself was Ziggy Stardust. And he was Ziggy Stardust for 10 years, and then he killed the character and became himself, David Bowie. Because when you put yourself into your music, it's very personal, and people do this to protect themselves. Like there's an artist called Sting. Do you know Sting? Sting is a pop artist. Again, famous 30, 40 years. You would know his music if you heard it's on the radio every day, right? He originally had a group called The Police. Every breath you sorry?
Message in the water.
Bottle. Message in a bottle. I, I,
I was listening to that. I had it in mobile.
yeah, okay, cool. So, a year has passed since I wrote my note. Great music. Anyway, so Sting is not his real name, right? Right, it's not his real name. So he created the persona of Sting to create his music. And you find this with a lot of people. Freddie Mercury, the singer from Queen, his name was not Freddie Mercury. He created that persona. It wasn't his real name. And so a lot of big artists do, like obviously Lady Gaga is not called Lady Gaga, right? Right? So what artists do is they create personas. And then they kill the person when they want to change their lifestyle or their music or something about themselves. They change the persona. So they don't have to change themselves. They just change the persona. And you find this with actors as well. Like a lot of actors, their name that they act under is not their real name. You get a few who are real, but I'm pretty sure if you check, I don't know, Johnny Depp, that's not his real name. Okay, I don't know 100%, but I know people like one of the most famous actors of the 20th century was John Wayne, and that wasn't his real name. Right? It's not Lucia Villa. Yeah. Yeah, well, as I said, what people do is they create the persona. Yeah? And then they sell that persona to people. They don't say, and what this does is when you create a persona, it protects you, or it protects the person of you. Because when people attack, because in the media, people always attack the persona, right? Blah, blah, blah. And you're safe. When people attack your persona, you're safe because it's not you. So David Bowie had the persona, what did I say, it was Ziggy Stardust. So when people attacked Ziggy Stardust, oh, Ziggy Stardust is bad, blah, 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 blah. And David Bowie's like, it's not me, I don't care. So it's a psychological way of protecting yourself from the media, which is really vicious and cruel and attacks a lot of people a lot of the time. So it's very common in music, and you find it in other art areas as well. Sometimes painters and artists don't use their real name. They use another name. They already sign a different name, so it's not them. Well, exactly. It's a persona. It's a persona. That's, do you think Eazy-E from NWA, do you think that's his real name? Right. It wasn't his real name. Or it's more common in rap because you have to create an image for yourself. So yeah, it protects you. You have to be involved in the cultural media. You have to have what we say is very thick skin. You have to have very thick skin, like an elephant. You have to have thick skin to protect yourself. People don't say nice things in general, right? Yeah, you can imagine what it's like when you're not in the room. Blah, 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 blah. People are not going to say nice things about you. They're going to say bad things about you when you're not in the room. So this is also what people do when they make a company, right? Let's say there's somebody, let's just call this person Mary, and Mary starts a company. She doesn't call the company Mary, right? Like you could take real examples like Elon Musk. He doesn't call the company Elon Musk. He calls the company Tesla. Or Richard Branson, who's a famous businessman. Richard Branson doesn't call his business Richard Branson. He calls it Virgin, and we talked about that last week. Yeah. So this protects the person. You give your company a different name. And you can call it anything you want. You have your own company. You can call it "My dog pisses on your cat," right? It doesn't. It doesn't. You can call it. You can have that as a name. It doesn't matter. You get a stamp and put it on. What's the name of your company? "My dog pisses on your cat." You can call it whatever. People will say that's not professional. Well, that's their choice. So, yeah, lots of people have. You think Eminem, like Eminem's not his real name. That's a persona. And when you rap, a lot of the time it's not you. It's a character. It's acting. My God, Eminem is like the same age as me. I don't know. He's like 40 something now, 41, 42 years old, and he's still making videos like he's 15, right? That's kind of stupid, right? That's kind of stupid to do that.